You can feel it happening in real time. Standards are being quietly lowered, not because fans don't know better, but because they're desperate to have something to praise. No way K-pop stans woke up one day and said, you know what, I'm going to praise my fave for doing the bare minimum today, just so it looks like they're winning. Forget being a professional, mediocrity is enough. Now it's #normalize mediocrity, and suddenly anyone who criticizes their fave is a hater. If you disrespect my fave, you disrespect me, even though defending them doesn't pay my bills, and I'm sitting here broke, irritated, and way too invested. Anyways, hello again, Rose Ears, to my channel. Stick around if you want opinions that'll give you a surprised Pikachu face. All right, let's get into it. Number 1. Fans are lowering their standards just to have something to hype. You can feel it happening in real time. Standards are being quietly lowered, not because fans don't know better, but because they're desperate to have something to praise. When the content is dry and the performances are empty, fans cling to the bare minimum and dress it up as greatness. Anything halfway decent gets labeled iconic because admitting the bar has dropped feels worse than pretending it hasn't. What's actually being celebrated isn't excellence, it's relief. Relief that a stage wasn't embarrassing, and that a note was hit, that a performance wasn't completely lifeless. And instead of asking why expectations have sunk this low, fandoms reframe mediocrity as a win. The language shifts. It wasn't that bad becomes they ate, and they tried turns into best performance of the year. This mindset protects the industry more than it protects the artists. When fans hype crumbs, companies stop feeling pressure to deliver full meals. Growth stalls, standards flatten, and genuine critique gets dismissed as hate. Nobody wants to be the one to say it out loud, but the bar didn't just drop, it's being defended. And that's how mediocrity gets normalized. Number 2. K-pop choreography is starting to look the same across groups. Lately, it's getting harder to tell performances apart. Different songs, different concepts, different groups, and yet the choreography keeps looking strangely familiar. The same tempo switches show up at the same moments, the same formations rotate in and out, and the same predictable killing parts are clearly designed for clips rather than cohesion. After a while, it all starts to blur together. Some recent stages made this impossible to ignore. You watch one performance, then another, and realize you've basically seen the same choreographic blueprint repeated with new faces and outfits. There's nothing technically wrong with it. The dancers are sharp, synchronized, and well-trained, but the creativity feels recycled. Instead of choreography serving the music feels forced to fit a trend. This sameness kills memorability. When every stage follows the same structure, no single moment stands out for the right reasons. The industry seems more focused on what will go viral than what will feel distinctive or timeless. K-pop choreography used to be a signature, something you could instantly associate with a song or group. Now it often feels like a template that is efficient, polished, and completely interchangeable. Number 3. The most exciting thing about some comebacks is the discourse, not the song. Lately, the most exciting part of some comebacks isn't the song, but rather the chaos that follows it. The think pieces, the fan wars, the endless debates online end up being more memorable than the actual track. And when the arguments stick longer than the melody, that's not what we would call success, and it's sure as heck at badge of honor either. It's what we would call distraction doing the heavy lifting. Some recent stages made this impossible to ignore. You watch the performance, and instead of replaying the song in your head, you're replaying the controversy around it. Who sang live, who didn't, who looked tired, who ate, who didn't. The music becomes background noise to the discourse, reduced to a prop in a larger online argument. This kind of attention might inflate numbers in the short term, but it doesn't build real impact. Longevity comes from songs that stand on their own, not from debates that burn out in a week. If a comeback needs controversy to stay relevant, it was never strong enough to begin with. K-pop thrives when the music leads and the conversation follows, and when that order flips, the industry isn't winning, it's just making noise. Number 4. K-pop soloists trying to break the Western market need the right mentality or forget it. Having great music is just the starting point. If your stage presence is weak, inconsistent, or unengaging, no amount of production polish will save you, and the Western market won't hesitate to call you out. Fans and critics expect performers who can command a stage, deliver strong vocals live, and hold attention without relying on flashy camera work or aesthetics to distract from flaws. The K-pop formula, where visuals, editing, and heavily produced tracks often compensate for performance weaknesses, doesn't translate overseas. Western audiences value authenticity, energy, and charisma on stage. If your mindset isn't built around consistently delivering that, your debut won't just underperform, it'll be ridiculed. Success in the Western market requires more than style points or viral choreography. It demands mental toughness, preparation, and the ability to own every moment on stage, even when something goes wrong. If a soloist isn't willing to adopt that mentality, no amount of hype, social media promotion, or star power will carry them. Great music matters, but in the West, presence is non-negotiable. Without it, you're just another act people scroll past. Number 5. Stans are confusing mediocrity with growth. Something that's been really frustrating lately is how stans are hyping the tiniest, most superficial improvements as if they're monumental glow-ups. A change that's barely noticeable, maybe a slightly stronger note here, a slightly sharper move there, isn't growth. It's incremental, and it's being overstated because fans want to see progress so badly that they start celebrating mediocrity. This mindset distorts expectations. Instead of pushing artists to actually improve, it reinforces the idea that halfway effort is enough. Companies notice this too. If fans cheer for the tiniest tweaks as though they're revolutionary, there's no incentive to invest in real training, better production, or meaningful development. The cycle repeats, and what should feel like exciting evolution becomes performative, hollow, and repetitive. Genuine growth is noticeable, measurable, and transformative. It leaves an impression, not just a fleeting, okay moment. Until fans start recognizing the difference between real improvement and minimal effort dressed up as progress, mediocrity will keep being glorified, and actual development will continue to lag behind the hype. Celebrating half measures doesn't help anyone. It just lowers the bar. Number 6. Vocally strong groups are quietly aging better. There's a quiet trend in K-pop that doesn't get enough attention, and that is groups built around strong vocals are aging far better than performance-only groups. They might not dominate trends or rack up viral moments with every comeback, but their music stands the test of time. Their longevity isn't flashy. It's earned through consistency, skill, and artistry that doesn't rely on gimmicks. Performance-heavy groups can make a massive impact early on. Their choreography is sharp, their visuals are striking, and their stages are instantly shareable. But those strengths often have a shelf life. When the hype fades or choreography trends change, the foundation of the group starts to show cracks. Vocally focused groups, on the other hand, age more gracefully because the core of their artistry, singing, remains relevant regardless of trends. Fans might not notice it immediately, but years down the line, vocal groups continue to release music that resonates, while performance-centric groups can feel dated once the visual and choreographic novelty wears off. In an industry obsessed with virality, there's something quietly impressive about longevity built on skill rather than spectacle. Vocally strong groups prove that substance outlasts flash. Number 7. Some groups would actually benefit from less group content. There's a fine line between connecting with fans and overexposing yourself, and too many groups have completely blurred it. Constant variety shows, live streams, behind-the-scenes footage, and endless group content might seem like a way to stay relevant, but it's quietly diluting their mystique. When every moment is documented and every interaction is public, there's nothing left to imagine. The sense of allure, the magnetic pull that makes fans excited to see even a small teaser, starts to vanish. These days, mystery has become a rare commodity, and it feels refreshing when a group actually preserves it. A well-timed comeback, a single stage performance, or a selective media appearance carries more weight when it isn't accompanied by constant saturation. Fans notice scarcity, and anticipation builds naturally when everything isn't served on a platter. overexposure might generate short-term engagement, but it undermines long-term impact. Groups that balance accessibility with restraint are the ones who command attention, spark conversation, and leave lasting impressions. Sometimes less really is more, and in an era of relentless content, a little mystery goes a long way. Number 8. Rage baiting is a double-edged sword. Unfortunately, it's a tempting yet cheap shortcut to get attention. That means that idols, agencies, or even fans deliberately court controversy through shocking statements, provocative actions, or calculated drama to spark outrage just to grab attention. And if it's done well, it can be highly effective. We're talking about social media engagement skyrockets, streams climb, and groups stay firmly in the public eye. Album sales can even get a boost, and trending charts become a playground for visibility. For a moment, it feels like a masterstroke because controversy drives interest, and interest drives metrics, and everyone's talking. But that same strategy is incredibly risky. Rage baiting can alienate potential fans, turning curious listeners into critics. The pressure of constant scrutiny and backlash takes a real toll on idols' mental health, and toxic fan behavior often escalates in response. Instead of the focus being on the music, the conversation becomes about drama, which is not a good thing, which is overshadowing talent, creativity, and artistic growth. Over time, it can erode credibility, damage reputations, and even threaten a group's longevity. Number 9. High fashion brands are lame. I think I may have gotten diarrhea just by looking at some of these clothes. The whole idols and high fashion trend has been underwhelming at best, because instead of elevating their style or creating memorable looks, many idols end up either underdressed or looking like they just wandered off the streets. What's supposed to feel luxe and iconic often comes across as messy, mismatched, or downright ugly. There's a growing disconnect between the brands and the idols. Designers aim for edgy, avant-garde, or statement pieces, but the result doesn't always translate well on stage, in music videos, or even in press photos. Outfits that might read as artistic on the runway can look sloppy, uncomfortable, or chaotic on idols who have to take photos in them. High fashion is meant to enhance presence, to leave a lasting impression, but too often it distracts instead. The clothes overpower the idol rather than complementing their looks. Fans and casual viewers alike are left confused. Is this a bold style choice or just bad styling? Right now, too many high fashion moments feel more like missed opportunities than statements. Most times, high fashion should impress, but most of the time it's just lame. Number 10. Groups with consistent producers are aging better. One of the quiet secrets to longevity in K-pop is having a steady creative team behind a group. Even as a group's sound evolves, consistent producers provide cohesion, giving each comeback a thread that ties it to the group's identity. It's what separates groups that feel scattered from those that feel like they're growing organically. When the same producers, or producers who understand the group's concept and sound, stay on board, the group develops a recognizable sonic signature. Fans start to understand what a comeback means for the group, not just how it trends. Even experiments in genre or concept feel intentional because there's someone guiding the artistic vision. Without that consistency, even talented groups can come across as disjointed, with each release feeling like a completely different act, rather than the evolution of the same group. Consistency doesn't stifle creativity, it shapes it. It allows groups to explore new sounds while keeping their core identity intact, giving both casual listeners and dedicated fans a sense of continuity. Over time, this stability becomes a competitive advantage. Groups with strong, consistent producers don't just survive, they age gracefully, developing a legacy that feels coherent, deliberate, and undeniably theirs. And that's where I'm gonna leave it. If this ruffled some feathers, then good. That means it landed. You don't have to agree with me, but let's stop pretending mediocrity deserves a standing ovation. If you enjoyed the chaos, make sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell, Rosieries, to get more content. Make sure you stick around because you already know I'll be back with more opinions nobody asked for, but everyone argues about. Until next time, Rosieries, keep your standards up, feelings optional. Bye!